which is a mini project. All right, so for your warm-up, I want you to answer this in your journal. What is special about your personal style that you would like to share with the world? If you need to do a quick Google search about what personal style is, then you can do that, okay? One of my I kind of struggle going between personal styles. I like minimalist half the time, and then the other half of the time I like maximalist. And so the internal struggle is real. But websites allow us to share our style in creative ways. And in this lesson, one of the things that we are going to work on is using what we have learned about CSS to share our style with the world. So our question of the day is, how can you express your personal style on a web page? For web pages, I personally prefer minimalist styles. So it really just kind of depends on your preferences. And so this is where you are going to grab your activity guide. Okay. On your activity guide, you are going to design a page to reach a goal, use CSS to style a site, and write readable code. But for the first part of your activity guide, remember our design process is define, prepare, try, and reflect. So to define our problem, what aspects of your personal style would you like to share with the world? Okay. I want you to make sure that you're able to differentiate between the content of the page and the way that the content is styled. And after you have completed your design, you can decide which CSS properties you will need. And I will show you an example of this part. Okay. So for this section, I want to share shoes because being comfortable is important to me. I also want to share that you don't need expensive shoes to be comfortable and stylish. So because I'm sharing this example with you, I should not see it on anybody's paper. All right, so pause the video here so that you can take a moment to answer this part of your activity guide. All right, now you're going to prepare. How can your web page design communicate your personal style? What content is important to include in your web page? How should the content be styled? Make a sketch of your page. What CSS properties will you need for your page? All right, this is this section down here. Okay, you have all of these questions to answer that I just read, and then you have a section to sketch out what your page would look like. Okay. Pause the video here so that you can complete that. Try. Now we're going to go to Code Studio and we're going to review the CSS properties that we've seen and learn more about RGB colors before we start actually making this page. So this is lesson 7. This is where we start, and you can choose one of these to help you review, and whenever you get done, click Finish, and it's going to bring you to this section about RGB. Check out how you can get even more colors by using RGB codes. And so I want you to choose either A or B, and if you have time, it would be very beneficial for you to choose both. Whenever you get done with those, click Finish. All right. Now, add the HTML to your page. This is the part where we try. Okay. Review the CSS properties. You did that. Once you are ready, start coding your page. All right. Add HTML to make the page in your project guide. Now, remember what I said earlier about where the space is? That's where they want you to type. The space is on line 7, in between the open body tag and the closing body tag. Do not type anything in, like, before line 6. Don't type anything after this closing body tag, okay? All of your style will be put over here, okay? So if you have any questions, I hope that your neighbor will be able to help you, or you can send me an email and I will be happy to help you also. We are going to just do the content using your HTML tags here, and whenever you get done, you're going to go to bubble 4, and this is where you're going to add the styles to your style sheet. Okay, and these aren't really bubbles that you can skip because I have nothing in my body here because I didn't put anything in my body on bubble 3. So bubble 5 is where you're going to review your page and make sure that it looks correct, kind of check off these things, and then you're going to reflect. What is your favorite thing about your website? My favorite thing about my website is the colors I use. They are bright and they get your attention. All right, what's the favorite thing about your website? I think it is more than acceptable to say that the favorite thing on your website is the fact that you made it, okay? Now, if you didn't make it and you cheated, then, I probably wouldn't put that because that's nothing to be proud of, but, So make sure that you use the rubric to give yourself a grade. Get a peer review, and a peer review should look something like this, okay? You can get a teacher to review it. You can get a family member to review it. If you're sitting in class, you should have somebody sitting beside you review it, okay? The things I want feedback on are this, this, and this. I like this, I wish this, what if this, okay? That's what a peer review should look like. If somebody is giving you answers like, oh, it's all great, you shouldn't improve anything, lies, all right? Just lies. Get somebody else because that person is not worth whatever is coming out of their mouth, all right? So your project guide, your peer review, and your rubric, those are going to be the things that you turn in for this assignment in Schoology, and I am going to go in and personally look at what you submitted on bubble 5 whenever I go to grade these. Okay, so reflect, peer review, and then what's one thing that would make your webpage better that you don't know how to do yet? There's a ton of things that you can do. Think about websites that you see. What are things that you like that you see that would be cool if you added to your website, but you don't know how to do that? This is an easy question to answer. And how can you express your personal style on a webpage? With CSS.